At the risk of over-explaining what's going on, Ivo and I are discussing more on the truth. I don't think people are understanding quite what's going on yet. And like I keep saying, there are pundits out there who have belief systems that limit their understanding of the situation. It's not about politics, it's about exopolitics. It's not about physics, it's about metaphysics. It's also about realizing how powerful your mind is. That is very important. We're undergoing an ascension process. Energies are coming in to help vibrate our planet back to a fifth-dimensional frequency. We go along with her. People on this planet and off have been working since long before this time, for thousands of years. Yes, Jesus came to help us through this process. Earth had had a few attempts before to ascend and had failed. One attempt was Atlantis. There were others before then. The problem with the Earthlings' minds is that they became focused on materialism, not spiritualism. This is a low-frequency vibration. That's the history. But for our understanding of current events, we need to understand that many people have been working in the background to arrange events so that we can undergo an ascension process. The first big win they had was the Armageddon timeline had ended in 2012, there was no more threat of a catastrophic explosion which would destroy the Earth any longer. However, there was still much darkness and evil on this planet that continued on past 2012 which still affects us to this day, if we allow it to. And that's the part about being empowered. You can experience negativity and become bitter and angry, or you can experience negativity and use it to rise to a higher vibration. Sink or swim. Which do you do? Ivo and I have been teaching you how to swim, how to, despite any negativity, remain positive and to stop creating lush. That's important. Let me cite some examples. There are people who have been through monarch programming who were rescued from that who became whistleblowers. There are people who have lost loved ones recently who have begun to speak out about what killed them. There are people who have suffered adversity but who have used it to help educate the public. And there are others who have suffered adversity but they have not used it for the public good but have used it to destroy themselves. Which are you? We all suffer adversity in this matrix, but how you respond to it is so important. Why is your mind so important? It's simple really. It creates this reality. If your mind wasn't so important, why have they made such efforts to control it? Why do they use EMFs on you? Why do they try so hard to brainwash you via the television? Why do they censor people like me? Why do they want you glued to your cell phone? Why have they dumbed down the school curriculum to eliminate thinking and to increase the memorization of facts? Why do they lie to you constantly? It's not because of me, it's because of your brilliant minds. They don't want you to use them. Right now, events are being arranged in order to eliminate the evil from this planet. Archons are being dealt with by Archangel Michael's forces, dark portals are being closed around the planets, polarities are being reversed to allow for positive energies to stream in again, DS members are being tried and hanged, otherwise they are turning to the light and are protected in order for them to prepare this world for Gesara law and implementation of the Galactic Codex. This is all being done now. The evil is being neutralized. They want to get us back to a neutral state of being so that we can start to manifest positivity in our lives and to undergo ascension. When the suffering is ended, particularly financial suffering through the Saint Germain funds, people will be able to start to make choices again, which is what a person with free will is supposed to be able to do. This was taken away from the people of Earth, our hand was forced to comply, and they are becoming particularly adamant about that now, especially here in Canada for example. They have used your free will to enslave you. Ivo, this is correct my love, a good general summary of current events. Let me go into some detail. Your statement which you posted up on our website on the truth page that, we are going to ascend. In spite of them. We will just take everything they have to offer, good and bad, and use it to undergo ascension. We can do this because we are more powerful than they are. As we step back into our power, they cannot control us anymore. This statement is quite true. When people learn to respond positively, in their own best interests, to any situation, when they move past survival mentality and into a thriving mentality, they will begin to act more positively. It is only natural. You will ascend in spite of them. People are spreading information to help to enlighten other people. Yes, this information is limited by people's belief systems, however these belief systems at some point will also begin to transform as people change. What you must move away from, and I realize this is difficult considering some of the circumstances which have befallen people now, is looking at anything as being bad. Because when you label it as bad, You often succumb to unhelpful patterns of the mind, behavior patterns, which is what you have been taught to do, by them I might add. Yes, if a loved one dies, you must grieve. But this too, as they say, shall pass. Of course you miss your loved one, but do not allow this grief to create a state of, yes, missing yourself as well, a state of erosion of the self. When your undealt with grief becomes a question of self-identity, you have a problem. This is what I am saying. Sharon was never enamored of either of her parents, and she had spent a lifetime grieving the normal loving relationship that she never had with them. When it came to their passing, she shed few tears because she had already spent a lifetime grieving them. However, she has learned to take their gifts, what they had to teach her, and utilize these gifts to undergo ascension, to re-empower herself. She is now at the point where she can manifest things easily, and she laughs as she sees life respond to the creative abilities of her mind. And yes, my love, you did create that friend who came to play with the lonely boy next door. Me, yes, I told his dad I wanted to manifest a friend for him to play with because he's always playing sports and riding his bike by himself. Yesterday I saw him riding on the street with another boy from school he's never played with before. So I hope that boy comes back. Ivo, so my point is, my love, that everything right now is a question of how you want to view it, positively or negatively. You view death as negative, so of course the DS will try to kill as many people as possible, in order to keep the vibration of the remaining people low. Do you not see this? They limited your information on death, and they taught you to fear it, so you see death as negative. It is not. It is a choice every soul makes, and when given a choice, there is no negative. You believe that death is final, that when you die, everything stops for you. This is disinformation. In antiquity, the dead person could be seen by those still incarnate, and interaction would be carried on as normal. You no longer have this capacity because you believe yourselves not to have it. You also could see the jinn, evil spirits, and such, but now no more. Because they have changed you to make you ignorant. They are very manipulative and cunning. And they are killers. They kill without compunction. If everyone on planet Earth would, right now, see all as being positive, you would create the grand solar flash you all long for so much. But so many of you react to your shadows by staying in them. No, they are to be transmuted. Ask yourself, when you see what you call bad news, is there anything good about this news? Me, I do this. I saw that the Canadian PM is threatening to pass Bill C-11 which will censor Canadian content. Well, they've already been doing that to me. I work on American sites so I get it all the time. What's the positive to take away from this? Simple, the more they tell us, the more people will group up and fight what they're doing. They're telling us what they're going to do to us. Great, thank you, now we'll fight you. There's another positive because new social media sites are coming up like Truth Social, and Michael Jaco has his out now as well. Another one, a Canadian provincial premier is trying to take our guns away. This is great because it gets more people involved in fighting for their rights. Awesome. This is going to affect everybody sooner or later, and the more it does, the more people will stand up and say no. Ivo, yes, the power of positive thinking. When you think positively you align with the universe. When you think negatively you align with the evil agenda. Take your pick. Every thought counts. You said, my love, we will just take everything they have to offer, good and bad, and use it to undergo ascension. What does that mean for the people of Earth now? You wish me to explain in more detail. Again, it is about what you view to be good and bad. You believe Mr. T is good. Many believe Mr. P is bad. The people of Russia love him, so it is all relative. There are also shades of gray. In fact, Mr. P is liberating the Ukrainian people. Many of them know this as well. Americans are fed disinformation, so many believe that Ukrainians are suffering. You see Ukrainian flags going up now. Good will prevail. Eventually even the most brainwashed person upon earth will see who is evil and who is light. Me, I think it's obvious now. Ivo, yes, but you are ahead of the rest. There are many who are still very brainwashed. Me, so more has to happen to wake them up, more so-called bad stuff. Ivo, correct. Me, why does it have to be negative, Ivo? Ivo, the reason for this is because that is where the collective mindset is. At a low frequency, so negative events can still be manifested. This is why I say to start looking at negative events positively. It may take some practice, but what you are doing is feeding light energy against the dark energy that the fearful are feeding into the event. Ivo, shall we take the event of the Ukraine? So many people fearing nuclear war, but when you see Mr. P as good and a man liberating many people of suffering, you feed positive energy into the event. When those who fear continue to feed negative energy into the event, Archangel Michael asks you to feed positive love energy into the event, thereby neutralizing or transmuting the negativity created by others. Your individual minds work this way all the time. It is now that we ask you to do this as a collective. For example, Sharon is on an herbal regime which she has seen some positive change in her immune system as well as her sleeping habits from. She is happy she has found these herbs as she feels that her chronic fatigue will improve or perhaps abate entirely through them. However, the one caveat with this is the accompanying diet. She experienced a lot of gastric problems until she complied with the diet, which is very limited, based on rice and easy things for her stomach to digest. She can no longer eat her daily salad nor enjoy a treat. This has her upset. However, she has stepped on the scale and sees she is now down by 5 pounds since she has complied with the diet, so now there is a positive to outweigh the negative. You do this all the time in your own minds. You weigh the positives and the negatives. Sharon feels the herbs will help her and she is also losing weight, so she will continue with the diet. Me, I figured out I can eat chicken curry so I have to get some curry, which of course is turmeric. There really isn't a lot I can eat on this diet, it's really limited. And I love food so I'm missing it. Ivo, yes, it keeps the empathy anchored to the earth, otherwise the empathy as high frequency would make you ungrounded, and I suggest you guard against this, my love. Regular grounding will be necessary if you do not eat your normal diet. Me, I could see that. Ivo, so my point is, you are being asked to neutralize the mind energies but as a collective, not as an individual. This is important right now as so many people are still being deceived. Those who are not must remain positive by seeing the positivity behind what is transpiring rather than by angrily putting down those who are still asleep. We realize that you feel their mind-controlled minds are continuing to create these negative circumstances, even necessitating these circumstances, but this is easily remedied. Just thank God you are not in their shoes because you once were there as well. Me, yes. Gratitude is the way to go. At least you're awake. That puts you in a position to try to help others, not to put them down. Ivo, this is a positive attitude towards the current situation. Continuing to be such continues to ascend you as well as the rest of the collective. Me, okay, thank you Ivo. Ivo, my love, I am always positive and there is a reason for that. I can say at this point, I would have a hard time seeing the negative in anything, so that means I can hold my vibration easily. Me, I'll bet you learned a lot from me. LOL. Ivo, in fact, I did. Some of your behavior surprised me, even though I have watched humanity on Earth for a long time.